Hello everybody and welcome to the Lola Hayes Expanded Guide video where we are going to be talking about the one, the only Lola Hayes, otherwise known as Lola Hayes is the Best Investigator Expanded Guide, as the link in the video description is called, as you can go to see the deck list, and all the cards that we're talking about here. So Lola Hayes is from Path to Carcosa, which is the second expansion. This is me just taking some time before I get to Lola Hayes herself. But Lola Hayes, she is... her strength, I'm going to get to her strength before we get to her, because she can play every class. She's neutral.
Yep.
Her weakness, though, is that she plays every class, but only sometimes.
Yes.
Notably as well, Lola Hayes was recently tabooed. When I say recently, I mean like actually a year ago at this point, pretty much. But Lola Hayes is a recommended investigator to play with the taboo list, just because she makes it so it's not miserable.
Yeah, it doesn't make her like, it does make her better, but it doesn't like make, it's not to, it doesn't change how she plays really, it just makes her functional.
Yeah, because like the big change is actually like specifically on Crisis of Identity, because that's where things can like really get crazy. But we'll get to Crisis of Identity, and we're gonna, when we talk about Lola, I think for the rest of this video, just for our ease and your ease, we're talking about Taboo Lola, because that's the one that I'll only ever play until the end of time. Even if I'm playing, like, no taboo list. I'm going to be like...
Yeah, same way that Rex is tabooed.
Exactly.
They're not really taboo
It's like a rata. Yeah. So Lola has 3s across the board. 3 brain, 3 book, 3 fist, 3 foot. Forced. After you draw your opening hand, choose a roll. So this is actually now in the setup on the back. Additional setup you can see there. Additional setup, after you draw your opening hand, choose a role. Survivor, Guardian, Seeker, Rogue, Mystic, or Neutral. This card's front side additionally gains actions, switch roles, do not provoke attacks. This does not provoke attacks.
So what's the reason between switching to additional setup as opposed to being forced? Is it just to like clear up room on the front of the card in case someone wanted to print it off?
It also, I think, changes when... cards that are like, for example, that trigger before start a game, like stick to the plan.
Yeah, you could trigger that. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. In addition to this, you can only play commit or trigger abilities on neutral cards or cards of your role. So that means in order to play your survivor cards, you need to be in your survivor role. However, as a lightning bolt, you can switch your role limit once per round. And part of the taboo is you can now spend an action to switch roles if you need to switch twice. This seems like a small change, and most of the time it is.
Yep.
But it also actually is a nice quality of life change to Lola to make her just like more consistent in what she wants to be doing.
Yep.
Her elder sign effect is +2. You may switch roles.
Sorry. So what exactly is a triggered ability in this game, Justin?
Great question. Anything with an action. Action designator, an arrow, a lightning bolt, or a loop-de-loop, a reaction. Those are all triggered abilities.
And so does this prevent you from using forced abilities?
No, forced abilities always happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if you're not in that role?
Even if you're not in that role. Forced abilities always trigger. It's just, it's one of those things that it's forced. It says so on the card. Yeah. These are all great questions to ask for Lola. So thank you, Travis, for making sure I cover them before moving on.
I actually didn't know. Yeah. It's never been relevant to me.
Her deck size is 35. Her deck building options are Survivor, all the colors, 0 to 3. So she can play every color 0 to 3. This is Lola's hook. She doesn't actually have an ability, right? Her ability is her deck building. Because she can play every class up to level 3, which means there's a lot of wild and wacky stuff you can do with Lola that realistically we're probably not going to cover all of it in this video.
This guy is not going to be talking about like specific archetypes for Lola or some of the weird card combinations you can do with different colors other investigators can't. It's going to be more focusing on cards that are just generally good for Lola decks. Things like static buffs, things that are multiple classes.
Things that combine stats together is also nice.
Yeah, that's another big one.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, and they're going to, like, obviously have some, like, packages that are, like, best in Lola.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we're just talking about, like, general Lola strategy here. Because none of us are experts on Lola. Like, not even close.
No.
She also can play neutral 0 to 5. Good job, Lola.
Yep.
Her deck building requirements...
That'd be so funny if she couldn't, or if it's, like, neutral level 0 or something.
She gets 2 copies of both her signature card and weakness. And, of course, 1 random basic weakness. And she has an additional requirement, which is always my point of frustration. It makes me have panic attacks whenever I'm building Lola. Your deck must include at least 7 cards from each different class. Yeah. This is what Travis was saying about the multi-class cards. It counts for both of them.
Yeah, this has made it become a lot easier with Edge of the Earth. It's helped her deck building quite a bit, I believe.
Yeah.
Especially since now, instead of like, if you want to be Fire Lola, you don't have to. They're good for several reasons. One of which is like, if you want to be a primary guardian fighter, then you can run something like Sledgehammer to satisfy your survival requirement as well. And then also, if you want to, it lets you still attack whether you're a guardian, use your vicious blows, but also if you're a survivor and use your stunning blows.
Yeah. 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 Also, the permanents also count towards it. Permanents are a great way to kind of just like get through that little hump there. Especially with like the Edge of the Earth permanents, those are also Edge of the Earth was a very good expansion for Lola, and she got a great archetype out of it as well.
Too.
Yeah, she got synergy. Yeah. Her signature is improvisation. 0 cost event, commits for a double wild. Fast, play only during your turn. Switch your roll until the end of your turn. Reduce the resource cost of the next card you play of your roll by 3. Draw 1 card. Yeah, it's a great card. It's a powerful card.
Yeah, it's like a fast emergency cash level 2 that also switches your roll. That's nice.
Yeah, and then her signature weakness. So the traditional version, as printed, is discard all cards you control of your current roll.
So I have a quick question. So if you want to play, for example, Crystallizer of Dreams,
yes,
Lola, do you have to be in Rogue, or can you switch to Rogue with improvisation if you want to put it under the Crystallizer? Because double wild is a good thing to have under the Crystallizer.
I think so. Great question. Let's look at the text on Crystallizer. We can do this. So Crystallize, just because put this card in play, yada yada, after you play an event. So after, I believe, triggers once the card is completely resolved. So you can switch into Rogue and then put that under.
Well, you would have to switch to
Yes,
Rogue.
you would have to.
Okay. Yeah. That's pretty nice, because you could like commit cards from other colors and then commit them while you're still in those colors. Because being able to commit cards is a static ability.
It is, yeah. So that's the other thing, too.
Static abilities are strong.
Yeah, static abilities in Lola are very good because they're always active. And even though this is actually, it's part of the reaction bubble, that's got to be just due to formatting, because it's actually an
there's just not enough room.
Yeah, there's just not enough room to do a line break there.
On the bottom.
Yeah. So that actually is kind of sick. That seems like a fun little thing to do.
Yeah.
All right, so here, you can just sit here, Rogue Book. So, Crisis of Identity as printed is basically like 2 nuclear bombs in your deck that just like kill you.
Yeah, they make you not want to play assets. They make you not want to like
do things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can commit skills. That's pretty okay.
Yeah, you can commit skills. Yeah, you can play events, but it basically means like those static things that we're talking about are basically just like eventually they're going to explode. So then what happens is you always need to like be switching your roles defensively as opposed to offensively, which is not what you want.
Maybe that's why what they intended with Lola is because they don't want you doing things outside of your color. They wanted you to not be playing too many assets, and they thought this was a way to disincentivize that. Maybe. Where you play all your green cards, and then you switch roles to a survivor, and you play all your red cards, and you just don't really have assets in play.
Yeah, maybe, potentially. But it didn't work, and they did taboo it. I'm going to keep going with the cards. So you discard the top card of your deck after you do this. When you switch your role to the class of the discard a card, if it's a weakness, you switch your role to neutral. Mm-hmm. The new taboo version, as you can see right next to the card, is just discard a card from your hand or play area of your current role. You can play around Crisis of Identity without needing to alter your game plan completely. Mm-hmm. I played Lola recently after the taboo changes, and there was a lot of time where I was just like, I can stay in this color because I have this event in my hand that I'm okay to lose, right? It's much better. It's, once again, it doesn't make her strong or broken by any means. She's still Lola, and she's still on the jankier side, but she is now she doesn't have these 2 bombs in her deck that might just ruin your day.
Yeah, Lola's a tough investigator for them to design that idea behind it, because there's no inherent synergy with what she does. Mm-hmm. She just plays the best cards of those colors. Yeah. So either she's does it well and then she overshadows other investigators, or she doesn't do it good enough, and there isn't it's tough to justify playing her, right? Yeah. Especially with how many effects have been printed in each color. Yeah. The flexibility of each color itself. Mm-hmm.
And I think, because Lola has all 3s in her stats, so even with these changes, you still have all 3s in your stats, which means that you're going to need to work to get to that level. And the fun of Lola comes from the puzzle of, how can I make this work?
Yep.
So why don't we dive in and start with the core set? And Travis, I'll throw these to you.
Cool. So we got our little symbol things here. So we're going to have all of them in this video, I think.
Yeah, we do.
Weapons, clues, the Elder Sign, and spells. And that means that you can find them in a staple video or the weapon clue or spell video, which will all be linked in the description. Wow. Well, we're few this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got our 45 automatic, our machete here. Just two solid weapons that you can play with Lola at the core set. You have to be in Guardian to use them, but that's okay, because you'll also want to be in Guardian to commit your Vicious Blow for extra damage. Or to trigger your B-Cop, again, for the extra damage. B-Cop ally that gives you +1 fists all the time, even when you're not blue. So lots of high value there. Then we have our little clue game package. Deduction fills the same role as Vicious Blow, but for clues. Magnifying Glass fills the same role as Machete and Automatic. Dr. Milan is like kind of the mirror to Beat Cop. And again, the Magnifying Glass, Dr. Milan, exceptionally good because they always give you that book boost. You can be red, you can be green, whatever, and just have 5 book while you're investigating.
Which is really nice, because then you can play like the reactive red investigating stuff while just still...
Or like use lockpicks or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you won't ever get your resource from Dr. Milan, but still just paying 4 money for a +1 book and occasionally a resource is still pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
We have Working a Hunch, which is, it's nice, it's fast. You get clue at your location, it commits for 2 book. Just a solid card for Lola.
I think this is also especially nice, too, because Lola can play, as Travis said, the best of everything. So you just play Faustian Bargain, like you play the best economy, and then just like you can sling events like crazy when needed.
Yep. We're going to talk about occasional good stuff cards because, like, you do need 7 cards of the 3 colors.
And it's just easy to grab the good stuff.
Yeah, like you're playing core set, 2 Magnifying Glass, 2 Dr. Milan, 2 Deduction, 1 Working Hunch, you're done.
There you go.
Easy.
Solved.
Yeah, same thing with blue. 2 Machetes, 2 Beat Cops, 2 Vicious Blows, a 45 automatic. Nice.
Easy.
You got it. We got Leo DeLuca because he's one of like the usable green cards in the core set. Extra action is nice.
It's always there.
Yep. Especially nice with the new errata for her.
Yes.
Because that just basically lets you switch your role for free.
Yeah.
We have Elusive, extremely powerful green cards worth a lot of actions. Just leave and go wherever you want. Don't have to make tests with your 3s. Feels good. We have a handful of purple cards. We have the Holy Rosary, which can be a strong consideration. If you want to play purple, you're going to need that brain stat probably. And Shriveling is a way to fight while you're in purple. Drawn to the Flame is basically your option out of the core set to get clues while you're purple. Well, not something to rely on. This is a solid like secondary color for Lola.
Yeah, and even the like the Holy Rosary is nice because even if you're not using your mystic, like you're like doing mystic things, it's just defensive stats.
Yep. Two soak and +1 brain just all the time. Feels good. Kind of distraction. Look what I found. Lucky, all just powerful red events. You're gonna need to be in red to use them, but that's fine. Then the look what I found and kind of distraction both commit for great symbols as well. We have our Survival Instinct, which is a solid red skill. It is the evade version of deduction and Vicious Blow.
It is, yeah.
We have Flashlight. Flashlight gets a special mention here for being neutral. Flashlight shows up in a lot of videos, but Lola can use it in any color. That means you can use it to investigate and still have your look what I found, your lucky open. You can still use it and commit your deduction. You can still get your resource from Dr. Milan. It's just it's nice.
Just good.
Yeah. We have Guts, Perception, or Power, Manual, Dexterity, Unexpected Courage. Your stats are 3.
All 5. She gets all 5.
Nope, you still have 3s, but they could be 5 sometimes. And then Emergency Cast helps you pay for stuff.
Yeah.
Upgrade options, we have the Police Badge and the Beat Cop. They still just give you passive stats, which is, again, a great place to be. Magnifying Glass is just slightly better. It costs 0 and you can pick it up if you're in yellow. But also just gives you that passive book.
Well, investigating, yeah.
Yep. Leo costs 1 less, which is huge because you can have him come down turn 1 instead of having to like lose your action on turn 1 to play him.
Yep.
Mind Wipe is just a solid, flexible purple card. Again, purple is a nice like other class to be in because they have lots of niche effects that can be sometimes good.
Yep.
And you can just kind of not play with them if you don't need them at the time.
Yeah. Just and like you just look at them like this card isn't even here.
Yeah, you're like, well, Mind Wipe, it'll sit here until it's necessary, and if it's not,
then yeah.
And then we have Upgrade Lucky. It's just better. And Will to Survive. Don't reveal Chaos tokens for any skill test you perform. That's very nice with the static boosts. And you can just do the thing that you want to this turn, which is a rare treat.
So yeah, it's always just always a good little snack.
No variance.
Yeah. All right, on to Dunwich.
It's here.
Teamwork? Yeah, so teamwork. Investing location may give or trade a number of item assets, ally assets, or resources among one another. I mean, this card can do fun things. And Lola also can like tap into a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
So
you can play really fun like
Pack Mule Lola.
Yeah, you just like bring all the like the cool level 3 cards and you're like, here you go, here you go.
Yeah,
here
definitely, yeah. Shortcut, it's just a staple. Just a good card. Moving's good. Art Student as well. The nice thing about Art Student is that you don't need to be in Lola's ability for it to soak for you. You just get the clue and then it dies.
You play, you get the clue, and then it's gone.
Liquid Courage is a way to heal horror for yourself, for other people. Contraband, double the number of ammo or supply tokens on an asset. Just get more of what you're doing.
Yep.
Clarity of Mind allows you to heal horror from an investigator location. So this is kind of like, can be like, Lola can kind of support as well. She can kind of just like fills holes as needed. She also can help herself because she only has 3 brain and 6 horror soak, which means she could just end up crumpling like a bag of potatoes.
Yeah, Clarity of Mind in general is not like a super good card or anything like that, but you do have like archetypes where you can upgrade into like the upgrade one and play Sign Magic as well and stuff like that, where it's a little bit better. Yeah, but especially in these early expansions, you see things like level 0 Contraband, level 0 Clarity of Mind, because Lola doesn't have a ton of options for those colors that are actually functional if you do want to play the good cards in those colors, like Drawn to the Flame or Leo DeLuca.
And there's one thing as well, with a lot of these cards that have upgrades, Lola can play down the rabbit hole. Yep. So like she can upgrade these cards.
They do have a special extra value there.
Yeah. Delve Too Deep is a staple. Get more experience to upgrade your cards. Let's go. Peter Sylvester, he gives you foot, and he heals a horror from him at the end of your turn if you are in Survivor. Which is generally like Survivor and Mystic are like the reactive classes in your deck a lot of the time. You'll have like Warder Protections, your Luckies, your Live and Learns.
Yeah.
And that's where like Pete he'll probably still heal.
Yeah, like Pete and Jessica are like not as good for Lola as they are for other investigators because it's more awkward to get their trigger.
Yeah.
But they still just do give you passive stats for your ally slot, which is, again, very good place to be.
Yeah.
That's another note about reactive things, like Delve Too Deep remind me of actually. You'll notice that there was no Warder Protection in the core set, even though that's generally considered a staple purple card, one of the good stuff ones. It's quite awkward to use because you have to be in purple in the Mythos phase.
Yeah. So like unless your deck is designed to specifically be reactive Mystic, it's not like an auto include in a Lola deck.
Yeah, you're not gonna like, because one of the best things to do with like War Protection is kind of sit on until you draw Ancient Evils, right?
Yeah.
But you can't guarantee you're going to be in purple every Mythos phase and also like effectively do your job. It's a little bit easier with the action to change classes now, but you're still just throwing away an action.
You're still throwing away an action for that. But like, yeah. So it's just like
just awkward.
You'll know if you want to have it in your deck, like if you're going to be living in Mystic. Fine Clothes allows you to parlay for like 2 less. Just gives you an unexpected courage each time you parlay, but better.
You know, it
gives you a gumption. Gives you a gumption whenever you.
That's a very polite way of talking about it.
But yeah, like it also just soaks for 1 and 1.
Yeah, no, there's probably like a neat parlay Lola deck. You have to play all this stupid interrogate cards and stuff.
I mean, like also like Fine Clothes is definitely also just like campaign tech, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot to that as well. Brother Xavier.
Oh, Kukri didn't make it in.
No. Poor Kukri. Rest in peace, Kukri. Pour one out for Kukri.
Yeah.
Brother Xavier, you get +1 brain static boost. He soaks for a lot. He can his soaking for other people is also static, so it's going to always be there. And then if you are blue when he is defeated, you get to deal 2 damage to an enemy or location.
You can probably plan around that.
Yeah, just like don't kill him unless it kills you if you're.
Yeah, you just be like, hey, I'll engage that guy and then I'll switch to blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Easy.
Stand Together, the level 3 version. This is where we start to see like the real cool stuff in Lola. You can see like there's all these level 3 cards, except for the Survivor ones, that you can like play and like other people can't do this.
Yeah.
So like she can play Stand Together and Ace in the Hole on the same freaking turn if she wants to. So Stand Together just gives you another Investigator, 2 cards, 2 resources. Very nice. Upgraded Vicious Blow, more damage, more fist. Keen Eye allows you to, it's a permanent. All the permanents can kind of do something in this deck, but once again, we're not talking about
I think that Keen Eye is actually particularly good in Lola because you have like you have all the best economy in the game. You can generate resources like as many as you want if that's what you're trying to do. And then you can also like dump all your resources into the Keen Eye and then switch to a different class and still maintain the boost because until the end of the phase.
It's very true. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Deduction 2. Yes, please. Thank you. Ace in the Hole, just more actions. Really awesome. It's exceptional. So it costs 6 experience, but it is a nice, powerful card.
Yep. Great 7th green card, too.
Yep. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just, you're one of to round that out.
Yep.
Shriveling, level 3, more spell. Survival Instinct, the upgraded version. Hey, the Vicious Blow and Deduction are here. We should put Survival Instinct because, you know,
You
I mean, like,
you didn't put a staple symbol on it,
no,
just
it
so it
didn't,
like fits in.
It didn't make the cut.
Just
No,
to
it's
get-
it's
to
like
give them all the
it's
boys.
like ethereal form on the outside looking in. Pete Sylvester, the upgraded version, he gives you a passive, to 2 stats for very little.
4334. It's like a real investigator number.
4334, and you're gonna look like a nice little sandwich too.
Yeah.
Relic Hunter and Charisma staples. We've talked about them now like 50 times in this series. If you want more accessory, you want more ally, let's go. Emergency Cache 2, 3 resources, draw a card.
Solid.
Just solid. And then Red Glove Man.
He's neutral.
He's neutral.
Yeah, all those good neutral cards, they're going to be here. Don't worry.
Yeah, so the nice thing about Red Glove Man is that he can turn 2 of your stats to a 6, and then you get any of your static boosts on top of it.
Yeah, he's very nice. He can just bail you out of really like a bad situation. Whatever, if you're in the wrong class and you can't switch or you don't have the cards you need for that class to make it work.
And like Lola could also just play like a chance encounter 2 to just chance encounter and just bring him back because he's usually level 0-1. Just keep all fun stuff you can do. All right, on to Lola's home turf, Carcosa.
Yeah. There weren't like a lot of great things for her in Carcosa, if we're being honest.
No, there weren't.
Carcosa was like so for player cards, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got True Grit. This is just heart soak, meat soak that it has passive, can take for others.
Yeah.
We got No Stone Unturned, just a solid support card and also search for a card, which is good. Dig. Logical Reasoning, again, is just a solid card. Great, like 7th card. Commits for 2 brains.
Kills your frozen in
flexible,
fear.
Yeah. Charles Ross Esquire fits into that sort of support archetype that we kind of talked about, especially with like the immense amount of resource generation that you can do now. Mm-hmm. You can just the spending your resource pay for other item assets is passive.
Yep.
So you can just do that all the time, and then you can exhaust him, I guess, when you're yellow.
Yeah, when you're yellow, you can exhaust him, and then that stays until it stacks, and it also stays. You don't need to be in yellow to actually end up using that ability later.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point too. We have Guidance. This is another one of those support cards where this guide was originally made before Lola got her little taboo. Mm-hmm. So there are cards like Guidance in here where the joke was like, your actions are worthless, so you should give them to someone else.
Yeah. And that's still mostly true.
Yeah, like it's hard to do things with 3s, but it's less true.
Yeah.
So we got these Desperate Skills. 4 symbols is a lot. We're going to be talking about another card probably that does a similar thing.
No, that one didn't make the cut.
Really?
Yeah. Just because it's like one of the ones where like it's in the curse videos.
Okay. Yeah, I have 3 less sanity, but that's easy when you have 6 to start with.
Yeah, like with Lola, I don't know if I'd run like all 8 copies of them, all like 2 of each. But like if I was planning on fighting,
just roll up with your Bestow, Resolve, Lola. You've got your St. Hubert's Key. You got your In the Thick of It. Yeah. In the Thick of It, 1 Arcane Research. You're done.
You're done.
You're
at 3, and then you're
ready
just like
to go.
the first Rot and Remain comes, and you're like, I don't have my say my prayers on.
Just put it on your Pete.
Put on your feet, yeah.
You can play them.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But I mean, like, they are just like 4s is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an entire Veskier's worth.
Really makes Promise of Power just seem that much more crazy, huh?
No, that's a fair card. You have to put a curse token in, Justin. If you
have
can't, you have to take 2 horror.
I recently played, and I drew the curse token off of the Promise of Power and failed the test. So actually, the game designers got me. They were like, it's balanced. I
like to imagine that happened like 2 or 3 times in a row by some fluke chance in testing, and they're like, yeah, this is fine.
Yep.
It happens sometimes.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, we got David Renfield. He gives you +1 brain pretty much all the time, and then gives you some absorbed resource generation if that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
We have St. Hubert's Key, as I mentioned before, gives you -2 sanity. An important inclusion for that desperate archetype, especially if you don't have all the expansions. Mm-hmm. But also just gives you +1 brain, +1 book all the time, which is huge. For a level 0 card, like that's actually wild. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We have Ambush. So this one is a blue card that you can play that deals damage to an enemy. The ability is Force. I knew this one was making the guide, and I've forgotten it in the interim. But you just play it, and then you don't have to be in blue to damage the enemy.
Yeah.
Just set and forget.
You have the same thing with Snare Trap too. Just set and forget. Yeah.
Good job, me. Pass me. We have Shortcut. This one is actually probably just better than level 0 Shortcut for Lola.
Definitely.
Because it gives the location the ability. So you don't have to be in yellow to trigger it.
Yeah. It also helps your other teammates.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that is kind of sick. Yeah, just like you only have to be yellow once, and then it's like always there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have our level 3 emergency cache, which is just a better emergency cache, 4 resources or 4 supply tokens among assets controlled by investigator location or whatever, however you want to split that up. There are definitely things in here that have supply tokens, and I don't remember what they all are, but they're
Courage
here.
was one of them.
Yep. And we have Kiwis, which is a neutral card, and it's pretty good.
Yep, it's pretty good.
Makes your 3s a little more impressive.
Yeah, pretty good card. I recently played with it again.
Yep. It was good.
All right.
Unnecessary, but good.
On to the Forgotten Age. We got Dr. Ellie Horowitz. She gets to search for a relic asset when she comes into play. You search the top 9 and attach it to her, and then she holds it. Like maybe this friendship bracelet. The Tooth of Etzli. You get 1 brain and 1 foot while resolving ability on a treachery card. So you get to go into 4/4s for that. Get Pete Sylvester. Your 5/5s. That's very comfortable.
Yeah.
And then as a reaction, after you see the skill test while resolving, you can exhaust a draw card, but only if you are in yellow. We got Slipaway here, which is an example of one of the ones that adds 2 skills together. Especially if you have any passive like static increases, those go up in value.
Yeah, it's partially why these are so like strong for us, because you want to be playing the passive stat increases. Like you can play this with your Crystalline Elder Sign that's right here and your Lola Santiago, and you just you're balling.
You're just like
you got 10.
You're like, I'm Trish Scarborough.
You're better than you're Trish with Lola in play, but yeah.
We have the level 0 backpack. It's a staple, but it's really here for the level 2 backpack.
Neutral.
Yeah, it's also neutral, which means you get to use it all the time. All right, on to the upgraded cards from the Forgotten Age. We got Reliable. You will notice that they actually get less as they go for a while, and that's true because like Dunwich and like Corset were like core and core plus.
Yeah, and then Lola or Path Carcosa was kind of her cycle.
Yeah.
Which like
and
honestly, no, Path Carcosa is just big because of the desperate skills. Never mind.
Yeah. And then after that there started to be like more focused like support and archetypes. So Lola's going to get a little bit less as these go.
Yeah, they're more geared towards like the investigator in that cycle as opposed to like just being solid cards overall.
Yeah. Reliable, however, is just all reliable. You get attached to an item as you control, and you get +1 resolving all skills on the attached asset. That's really good because you don't need to be in Guardian for it to trigger. It is a static ability.
Trigger at all.
Lola Santiago, you get +1 book, +1 foot. As if you are in the rogue, you can discover a clue as a lightning bolt to by spending the shroud's value in resources.
Yeah, which honestly is like very strong for Lola, I think, because I mean actual Lola, not this Lola, because realistically you can't afford to be doing that every turn.
No.
So yeah, you can just like you just switch into rogue, you buy your clue, and then next turn you switch out of rogue, and you do whatever.
You just like you come back in a few turns. You're like, hey Lola, I'm back. Yeah, definitely. Crystalline Elder Sign is just like seal the +1, and then you get +1s all across the board. It's like you're always drawing the +1 token.
She uses every part of the Crystalline Elder Sign.
She does, yeah. Good card for Lola, honestly, because you just set it and you forget it and you never go back.
Yeah. I don't want to do the discussion we had during the gym video again, though.
No.
Yeah.
But I mean,
if people you're playing with are complaining about this, go watch the gym expand guide, and we'll tell you why.
Yeah, go to the Forgotten Age time code, and we have that discussion there.
Yeah.
Skeleton Key turns a location's shroud to 1.
That's very investigatable with your 3.
Especially if you have a magnifying glass, you don't need to work hard for it.
And it's a static thing. You only need to be in green to play it and to activate it.
Yeah,
you can
pick it up.
After you've put it down, it's just there. You can be in other colors. You can use trigger deduction level 2s.
Yep. Ornate Bow is a neutral way to fight.
Yep.
And you get to fight at 5 foot without anything else for it.
Use your foot, which doesn't matter.
No, that's all. That text probably isn't even there.
Yeah.
And then we got, speaking of text, that like it's just like you just get to fight with your fist. 5. And then you also can add your brain to deal plus your damage.
You might think that this card is almost universally better in Lola than the bow, and you would be right.
Yeah.
It does cost 2 more experience for copy, but it's 1 action per attack instead of 2.
Yeah.
Hello. I need a piece of paper. Can I just rip something out of here?
No, that's my.
I can't have a single line of paper out of here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, card's good.
Yeah, next cycle.
Yeah, next cycle.
She did get the piece of paper.
She did.
Yeah.
Thank you for updating them. Circle Undone.
You're welcome. So here's our first instance of the multi-class cards. These
Let's go.
upgrade into single-class cards, which kind of defeats the purpose a little bit of them being multi-class for Lola, but they do make your initial deck building considerably easier, especially if you want to fight. We have the 45 Thompson and the Enchanted Blade. Both of these are pretty solid options at level 0. They're both very reasonable weapons to be using. They're both usable in 2 classes. They're just nice to play with. Tennessee Sour Mash, again, like, generally the reactive cards are a bit weaker in Lola, again, because it's difficult to guarantee that you're in the class that you want to be to play them when it's going to be relevant. But Tennessee Sour Mash has twice the odds of that.
Yes. Yeah.
So realistically, you're going to be, realistically, you're not actually juggling 5 classes, you're juggling 3, right? Because the 3 classes that you're playing 7 cards of are going to be what your most deck is. So you're going to want to be in one of those 3 classes. So there's actually a 66% chance of being in the correct class for Tennessee Sour Mash as opposed to just 40.
Yeah. And usually as well on top of that, most of the time your like 3rd class is kind of like your set it and forget it class.
Yeah, you just have like static boosts for that one.
Which is like really nice, like when you have multiple of these. Like say for example you were like a...
And this could be one of your set and forget
Yeah,
cards.
like if you were like a Guardian Rogue Survivor Lola, you could play the Thompson and the Tennessee Sour Mash and you'll like be able to activate the one you want like all the time.
Yeah, you're like Rogue, Guardian, Mystic, Fighter. You got Enchant Blade and Thompson. You're just always, you can always fight. I mean, that's difficult because they take up 3 hand slots per turn. But it is possible.
But you can wear a Bandolier.
Yeah, that's passive.
Yeah, Bandolier 2 gives you +1 brain as well. Yeah, look at that.
Wow, that's good with the purple cards you're going to be playing.
Wow, look, we're building a Lola deck live. Yeah.
We have Grizzly Totem. Again, like it's a little bit difficult to use, but because it's a reactive ability. But again, 2 classes. It's nice. We have the upgrade versions of these. I've highlighted like the ones that are the best of the pair, I think, is how this worked out.
Yeah, I kind of just like chose the one that I think you're like more likely to get a benefit from. Because like you could play either really, but like I chose the Guardian Thompson because it gives resources back. And that's also just like the Rogue
these are like
one.
the obvious, the traditionally good ones.
Yeah, like the Rogue gives you more brain. Like gives you 3/3. The Enchanted Blade. I think the Enchanted Blade can go either way.
It definitely
pretty
could
easily.
have been either of them.
Yeah. And then I think like you could do the Survivor Grizzly Totem, but I think like card draw is better than just like looping other stuff.
Yeah, if you're playing the Survivor Grizzly Totem, you're kind of like admitting that you can't pass test.
Yeah, and like you could build a fail Lola, but like just play Stella.
Yeah, like I mean, you can play it with it could be a resource engine with Take Heart, but like they really do need to print some more skills that care about failing for that to be relevant. The other Grizzly Totem be relevant, I think. Anyway. And we have You Owe Me One. Look into Investigator's hand. You can play a non-weakness card in that Investigator's hand under your control. If you do, you and that Investigator each draw a card. Are you allowed? Does this work?
I don't know. I'm going to say yes.
If you want to put this in your Lola deck, you have our blessing that this works.
Yes. We got the PBG guarantee. Don't ask Arkham DB. Don't ask the designers. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Honestly, don't bother them. It's about Lola and You Owe Me One.
Yeah, they're already getting bothered by Lola enough as it is right now.
They got enough other like real questions.
Yeah.
We have Decoy, Small Favorite, Intel Report. These are all solid green cards. They commit for great symbols. They let you do things testless, so you don't have to have good stats for it.
Yeah.
Just solid cards. Yeah. Yep. Then we have
all 5 tarot cards.
All 4 tarot cards. Yep. All 4 of them that they print in this expansion, they each boost one of your skills.
Yep.
These ones, you have to pick the color that you want to put into play for free when you trigger when you're starting the game. You do that trigger.
Yeah.
So you can actually put them in play, but they all just give you +1 on your stats, which is nice. We have Anna Caslow.
Yeah, and also the note, like if you're playing a tarot deck and you get 2 tarots in your opening hand, you can only choose one to put into play. But with all that said, like as soon as you get like Anna Caslow in play because you have additional slots, 3 resources is a very good rate for always stat increase.
Yeah. Unless you're an absolute, you could like have like 2 Ace of Swords and Anna in your opening hand and put Anna in play. Like I have 2 tarot slots. I'll put both my Ace of Swords in play and then go find another tarot asset and put it into play.
Yeah. That would be pretty sick. That would be sick. That'd be a good day.
And then you show up and you're like, my entire deck hinges on this 1/1 ally not dying. And the reward for it is I'm a 4/5/3/3 investigator.
Yeah.
I'm Daniela Reese.
I'm Daniela, just I can't soak to save my life.
Yeah.
This is I think like the first example of like an archetype that can be like uniquely Lola.
Yep.
Yeah. And then things that can help that archetype are studious.
Yeah. Static.
Yeah. Just like get an additional card in your opening hand. That's like always good.
It is just always good.
Yeah. And speaking of it, there's also another day, another dollar.
2 more resources. Yeah. We've been talking about a lot of assets.
Yep.
Because they give you those static boosts, and this is a good way to make sure you can play as many of those in turn 1 as you can.
Definitely. Yeah. All right, on to Dream Eaters, which is always
8 cards.
it's just nice and short. So Solemn Vow, it's a myriad. So myriad means you get up to 3 copies of it when you include it in your deck, which blew Eric's mind, by the way. Eric just put Easy Mark in a deck, and I was like, that costs you 1 experience to get all 3, and Eric was like, what? So yeah, you get all those.
Have you showed him Solemn Vow yet?
No. So
Solemn to the Queen?
Solemn Vow, it's just if it can soak other people. You're going to move damage onto a card you control. So if you're playing like a Pete Sylvester, for example, you can put that on Pete, switch into your survivor after that, heal Pete, and everyone claps. Or
you
Jessica.
don't have to switch to survivor. It's the person who owns the card that Solemn Vow is on that activates the ability. You never have to be in blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just have to be in blue.
Oh, okay. No, that's sick. Yeah, that's even better. That's
Yeah.
even better. So yeah, you can just like then... Also can work really well with like Brother Xavier, as we were talking about. Like kill him when the person
want
wants.
to.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, really nice. Open Gate allows people to move between all the open gates when they're on location.
Yep, you don't have to think about it anymore.
Zip zap everywhere.
Noticing a common theme here.
Scrounge supplies, you get to just choose a level 0 card and add it to your hand. Yep. Then we got Stargazing.
And Stars Array. Wow.
These are bonded cards. Bonded are like set aside cards that you shuffle into where it tells you to add it to your hand, put it into a deck.
I'm excited for when we get our Cthulhu campaign. And one of like just the absolute crippling mythos cards, like the Final Scenario, is called the Stars Array. And you can you play Stargaze and shuffle them in, and people are like, oh, I drew the Stars Array. You're like, no, we just die.
Yeah. It's not the good one.
Yeah, it's not the good one.
Yeah. So you can play only if there's 10 or more cards in the encounter deck. You just search your bonded cards for a copy of Stars Are Right and shuffle it into the top 10. Stars Are Right, it replaces someone's encounter card in the future, which is nice. It removes itself from the game, and then that whoever drew it chooses an investigator. That investigator draws a card, gains a resource, and may take an action. Simple. Basically just like uncontrolled Mythos deck mitigation that also just gives you an action and a resource and a card.
If you aren't in purple, can you resolve the Revelation ability?
Yeah, I think Revelation is like forced.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like the same thing. It doesn't count as like playing the card. It's just like the card effect happens.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
It's
like 90%
like shorthand
sure
for
that.
like force resolve the following effect.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Versatile. If you want your deck to be even bigger.
Yeah, this was also a relic of like the pre-taboo Lola, where this just made you less likely to draw your crippling weakness.
Yep.
Yeah, you can play a level 0 card from main class.
Wow.
What a treat.
The power.
What will you choose?
We have Lucid Dreaming, which is a neutral card that allows you to choose a card in your player, reveal a card in your hand. You get to search your deck for another copy of that card and draw it.
This one's really cute and kind of neat with like the split upgrades.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. Because you have like the level 0 one, you're like, I want the big one.
Yeah, or like you have like the you have like the blue and the green Thompson. You're like, the other one would be really good here. I'll go get that one instead. In place for a toolboxy thing.
Also works really well. Lola can play sled dogs because they're neutral. She can always use them.
She can.
And then it's another use of it. I know someone would want me to say it, so that's why I'm going to say it.
Okay.
Then we got Black Cat, which is a neutral card that's just like soaks a lot for you. And like can
Is
heal.
neutral.
Yes, and it's just like good. It's just really good.
Yeah, it's like hard to have a deck that isn't a little bit better by including the Black Cat in it.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though it takes up your ally slot. Innsmouth. Hey, so
Just look at all the blessed and cursed cards.
yeah, just put wherever you want in your deck.
Yeah.
Probably plays a really strong Paradoxical Covenant deck because whatever.
Yeah.
You just put cards in.
She probably plays like a really good like curse yellow green deck. Probably plays like a good blessed deck. She probably like plays them all. And like not great, but like good. I think she can make them all like function.
Only one of the awkward parts about it is you do have to be like in the color of the Covenant to trigger those.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's not that bad, but it can be a little bit awkward. Other notable cards like just the strong things like Faustian Bargain and Deep Knowledge and Promise of Power, and those should be 2 of your 7 cards if you're playing any of those colors.
Yep.
Yeah, some of our other cards we have here though are Under Surveillance, which is a trap. It's forced to do the abilities, so you just throw it down and you go do whatever, and then this happens, and you're like, yeah nice, I did it.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, we got Geese. +1 all your stats, and you do have to be careful about the force thing still because it could still happen, but also it's just +1 all your stats.
I'm so bad at breaking the Goose's Pact. I just always forget, and then suddenly I'm like, oh no, the Goose is like, you broke the rules. So don't be like me. Be like Bryn.
Yeah, just build your deck so you don't do the thing.
Yeah.
You can't do the thing. We have Ikiak. She is an ally that gives you +2 to 2 of your skills, and then you never be in purple.
Yeah.
So that way other people can't be like, take my basic weakness. You're like,
And you're
no.
like, sorry, I can't.
Yeah. This was a very strong inclusion for Lola, I think, pre-taboo, because you could eat Crisis. No, you can't. It's only basics.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But yeah, just don't be in purple, and then accept your +1 brain, +1 book, and feel good about it.
I mean, yeah, like Brain Book is it's good. Like,
It is.
Yeah.
We got Enchant Weapon. This is another one of those cards you can play down, and then the person you've played it on uses the ability, not you.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to worry about being blue to get full value out of it. And +3 for +1 damage. +3 and +1 damage is like good.
However, if you use it on yourself, you're going to be using it on your weapons, which are probably blue anyway, so you'll be able to activate them even on yourself very easily.
Very true.
Yeah. All right, out of Innsmouth and into the cold. We're in the edge of the earth, and we got a bunch of just like packages here that we're going to be talking about.
Yep.
The first one is the Synergy package, which I think Lola is, like, apart from like Carolyn and like probably now Vincent, are like the best users of.
Yep.
So all of these cards care about the number of different classes among cards you control.
Super easy when you can play all of them.
Super easy when you can play all of them. The only, like, the big downside is that Lola doesn't count as any of them. So, like, that's the nice thing there. Or everyone else, they kind of get the one synergy from it. Lola has to work a little bit harder, but luckily, that's what Lola is, like, designed to do.
Yeah.
So Gang Up allows you to attack, and you get +1 fist and +1 damage for each different class among cards you control.
Huge.
Yeah.
+5 and +5.
Yeah, so you can deal 6 damage. Very powerful and very fulfilling when you do it.
Conglomeration is fierce. Says I'm Lola like.
Join the Caravan allows you to move to any real location, and its cost is reduced for each different class.
This card's actually like really good, even if it costs like 3 or 4.
Yes, yeah. Close the Circle allows you to spend a charge and exhaust it, take a basic action, and for each skill test you may use your brain, and it gets it to charge for each class you control. Just more action, you know, like even if you're using this just to move, like 4 moves for 2 resources and a slot you're probably not using is nice. You do need to be in purple though.
It is like very nice that you get to use your brain as well instead of the indicated one. If you're like, because if you're in purple, you probably want to stack brain boosts anyway.
Yeah.
This one might actually be like useful outside of the synergy builds as well.
Yeah, and even if you're not using your brain, like if you're using to investigate, you can still just use your book and use your
You'll
magnifying
still just
glasses.
be fine at it.
Cheat the System is a fast gain a resource for each class you control. Could be a lot of money. And then we got the Survivor skill, because that's what survivors do, baby. It has a wild, and you gain additional wild for each. You can be +6. Yeah.
Wow.
And then we got PBG's favorite card, as spoiled by them, Call for Backup. One at a time in any order. If you control a different class card, you get to do a different thing. Rogues let you move. Guardians let you deal damage to an enemy at your location. Notably, this does not stop attacks of opportunity if you do it when the enemy's there. You can discover.
You can use it to move in and do the damage, and then that doesn't.
Yes.
You don't take the attack.
Seeker, discover a clue. Mystic and Survivor heal horror and damage. Neutral, so you can always play it, and it's kind of like a good payoff of the synergy build because it kind of just like it does a lot, especially if you have like 4 of them out. If you have 5, you feel like you got a little achievement. Yeah. We got the Red Clock 2, which is forced. The ability is forced, so it always happens.
Yep.
That's really good for Lola. Right?
is.
Like, that's actually, like, really nice for Lola. This is a really good accessory slot.
Normally, we kind of gloss over, like, Red Clock 2 because it gets overshadowed by Red Clock 5. And honestly, it's like, it just really isn't, like, good compared to level 5 one. It's still a fine accessory slot, but most of the time you're rather just running Lucky Cigarette Case or whatever in the decks that can play that if you're not working up to it. Yeah. But yeah, for Lola, it is extremely strong in the accessory slot because of the forced.
Yeah. We have Sled Dog and Rod of Animalism. Rod of Animalism lets you hold additional creatures, and they also reduce the cost.
Get your familiar spirits in here.
Sled Dog, PBG's other favorite card, is they take up, one of them takes up, you can put 4 in your deck, one of them takes up 2 of them takes up a single ally slot. You can exhaust them to move X times the number of sled dogs you want to exhaust, and the fight as well. You exhaust X sled dogs, you get +X and deal X damage. Not +X damage, just X damage.
Yeah, flat X.
Yeah.
Which is like similar.
Yes, yeah. It's fun. It's like, everyone has the memory when they have, all 4 in play and they go nuts, but it's enjoyable.
People like dogs.
People like dogs.
It's like a fun mini game where you get to kind of try and find them all. You
Yeah.
do have the tools to do it. You like calling in favors and stuff. So
calling in favors.
you got the red cards to bring it back.
Yeah, you have the lucid one we were talking about, lucid dreaming, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And then also, like, everyone loves it when you... I've seen it happen so many times where, like, it's the end of the scenario, you're about to win. You're like, can I go first? And then you just exhaust all 4 of your sled dogs and just go in a circle. That's, like, also pretty rewarding. So
Okay.
I've seen Bryn do it. I've seen patrons do it. I've never done it.
Okay.
That's because I'm dead inside like you.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
We have all this Edge of the Earth spells, which are nice because they are multi-class. And they're also, like, good spells. Brandic Thugga, I mean, we talk about them in the video about what they do, so I'm not really talking about what they do, but instead, just the fact that they're in 2 classes is really good.
Yeah, like Divination, for example, is very nice, where you can be in purple and investigate and still get to use your Dr. Milan and your Magnifying Glass, because you can still use your book. And then you're investigating at 6, and you can usually get clues that way.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with the Brandic Thug. You can be in purple and use your blue static boosts.
Yeah.
So
Another thing that's nice about these cards for Lola in particular, because her stats kind of suck, it means you only spend the charges if you succeed.
Yeah.
So while, yes, you'll get
very low
uses
risk.
out of them, the risk is very low. Next package we got here are all the composures. So all of
passive
these
stats, baby.
Yeah, all of these give passive stats, and all of them are free and fast. And you can only have one in play, but you can play them all. You can just go nuts. One of them dies, and you're like, don't worry, I'm still composed.
Where's my Serenity permanent or whatever that makes it so I can have one composure and play?
That's got to come one day, right? For sure.
Yeah,
for
it's my return to Edge of the Earth.
So all these cards, they boost, except for the Mystic one. The Mystic one's a little bit different, but they boost 2 stats. Non-directed damage or horror must be assigned to your composure before it's assigned to you. And you can spend a resource to get +1 to the stats that are on it. Combat training's Fist and Foot. Scientific Theory, Book, and Fist. Moxie, Brain, and Foot. I really like Moxie. I mean, I think all of them are great.
Yeah. Moxie and Plucky, I think, are like very good. Scientific Theory and Combat Training are both good.
Yeah, they're good in like they're good in the deck that like wants them, but like Moxie and Plucky, like blanket good, I think.
Yeah.
And then Grounded is spells.
But like all of them. So
Yeah.
like this is it's a very good card to run with those Edge of the Earth ones, because you, again, when you're investigating it, you can be in purple and investigating with your book using divination, and Grounded still gives you a bonus to the book.
And while we didn't talk about them directly here, we've alluded to the combined class cards. So like Grounded would also work well with Ethereal Form, Spectral Razor, and Read the Signs.
Yep.
All right, last package of cards here. Everyone put your hands together for
3 classes.
all 5 talents. 3 classes. No, so they all come in.
2 cards to take up 2 slots for 3 classes, Justin. It's huge.
I mean, like, it'd be kind of fun to build a Lola deck that just is all about cheesing your deck building restrictions just to like play mono Lola.
You just have all of these in your deck, and then you don't do anything.
Yeah. You're like, I don't got any insights to pay for. So all these talents pay for 3 things and can
It's cost me 30 experience.
can also increase your skill value while taking a test on one of those things. They you can't use from your resource pool. Instead, they all come with 2 resources on it. Notably, the ability to increase a skill value is a lightning bolt, so you need to be in one of the colors. But I
Yep.
mean, like, being one of these colors isn't hard. However, if for some reason you're not, the static to pay for cards is always applicable. However, with all that said, most of the cards of those traits are in the colors you're going to be
If
anyway.
you're playing Bruiser and you're playing a melee or a firearm, you're probably also going to be in blue.
Probably, or
Green, or red.
Yeah.
Probably not going to be yellow or purple.
No,
Same thing for
could
armor.
you imagine melee? They're like, all right, I mean, this is my tech for sword cane. Like, a wet or like a,
I use my money to play Sword Cane and just invade this guy for his league. Yeah, okay.
out of here. Prophetic is fortune, spells, spirit. Sleuth is charm, tactic, tome. Crafty, insight, tool, trick. Bruiser is armor, firearm, melee. And antiquary is favor, relic, or ritual.
Yeah, if you're looking at building a Lola deck, I would honestly like pick one of these and then kind of build around it. I think that's a very strong starting point. Spend your first 6 experience on 2 copies of these, and then.
Yeah, I think it's also just like a good way for you to just like. I think like that's why Edge of the Earth is so good, because like you have like 2 ways that you can kind of just like look at how am I going to start my Lola.
Yeah.
Because before it was kind of like tarot cards and like combining cards.
Even tarot cards wasn't like really.
It was kind of we call Lola's terrible for a reason, right?
Yeah.
But these allow you to you can pick one and be like, this is what I'm doing, and it kind of just even tells you the 3 classes to build in.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, return 2 boxes.
Wow, 5 more tarot cards. 6 more tarot cards. Oh my god.
And a tarot necklace.
Yeah. All right, so we got the Star, passive. All your assets have +1 health and sanity. Good. The World, lightning bolt. If you have 8 more cards in your hand, you can exhaust and draw a card. Situational, but very strong one. It is good, especially if you can't play your cards because you're always in the wrong color.
Yes.
Knight of Swords synergizes specifically very well with other green cards.
I think Knight of Swords is a pretty nice option if you're combining cards together. Like if you're playing lockpicks or suggestion. Like Knight of Swords is just I think a good option for Lola.
Yep. Hierophant, this one's totally passive, which is very nice. Your arcane slots can be used whole cards to take up accessory slot and vice versa. Honestly, a fantastic purple card for you, because if you're not doing this, if you're not investing in your brain for your mystic things, you're not going to be playing spells, and you can just use them to have sick accessories.
Yeah.
Like you just roll around with your crystalline elder sign and your Kiwis and another thing too, and you're like 2 crystalline elder signs.
It's pretty sick. Yeah.
We got Nyrods. We did say that the reactive cards are kind of awkward, but this one has basically no investment for it. If it comes up, it just kind of comes up. And honestly, red, it's powerful enough that it might be worth going on your way to try being red, because they have enough reactive cards in Lucky and
Red.
Lucky.
I got lost in the neighborhood.
It's okay. You just didn't want to participate in the Lola guide, but that's okay. You're in time.
You're correct. You got me.
Lucky, Perseverance, Devil's Luck.
Yeah. Red is I think the best reactive class, just generally, right? You're gonna play Lucky, Live and Learn.
In general, yeah. Mythos Phase it might still be purple, but it's there. The Fool. Play a card, exhaust, reduce that card's cost by 1. This one's really good on turn 1, but kind of pretty medium everywhere else. But if you're committing to these, you're gonna play Anna Kaslo. This is a great card to go find on turn 1.
Yeah, can she play the permanent that gives you bigger hand size at the beginning?
Studious, yeah, she can.
Yeah. No,
It's
that wasn't. That's in the guide.
Is it in the guide?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Wild. That's what you get for not being here the whole time.
Blow your mind. The green one that gives you extra resources also in the guide.
Yeah.
That one's less exciting because it's not good with tarot cards.
Yeah.
We have Moon Pendant, which is a mini Anna Kaslo, and something you could use your extra accessory slots on. You put your Hierophant into play, then you put your 2 Moon Pendants into play, and then you go put your Anna Kaslo into play, and you'll get other things too, and then you have infinite tarot slots. And
the nice thing about Moon Pendant is also it doesn't succumb to deal 1 direct damage to each of your allies. It doesn't just cripple your whole deck, and you're like, well.
Yeah.
There we go.
We didn't include it in the guide, but actually, if you're playing this tarot-centric build, it's probably worth to play the red one.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
6/6.
6 of Pentacles?
Yes, 9 of Pentacles.
9 of
No,
Pentacles.
that's 9 of Rods.
It's the 4 of Cups.
No, that's the brain one.
No, it's the same.
It's definitely the brain one. The red one that gives you plus health and plus sanity, because you get both of them play, and then and it doesn't actually take up your tarot slot, and you're 8/8, or you can throw them away for.
I just figured out what
curses.
this video we're doing today. It might be tarot related.
Is it the one where we have to list how many tarot cards we can remember? Because it's clearly not this one.
No, we're going to rank the tarot cards.
We have our level 2 Bandolier, extra hand slots for your weapons, and then +1 brain passive. It's the passive stat thing is, there's so many cards here that are just here because of it. So yeah. Blackjack. This one was another kind of meme one where you were it doesn't matter if you hit your teammates with it because you have garbage fight because they don't take damage.
Yeah.
But it is a solid, just kind of weapon option to have hanging around. And then you can be in blue if you absolutely need to shore things up to flex a little build. So
yeah.
We got suggestion: add 2 things together to do a thing. Good. Level 3 contraband, 2 contraband. It costs 3 resources. This one is just better. Again, very strong for that support Lola thing. People love having twice the gun. Or more supply tokens on the things that use supplies.
I mean, you also can because this is kind of the dream that Big Gun Leo lives in, right? If you have the 45 Thompson, the blue version, and you just double it, that's so many resources.
It's a lot of bullets, man.
It's a lot of bullets, and those bullets turn into money somehow. Why don't other guns do that? Why is Blue Thompson cracked the code?
It's why it costs 6, because the bullet casings are all made out of gold.
Yeah, so you just scrounge and pick them up.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Instead
of just having the gold and using regular bullets, but whatever. We have Upgrade Backpack, which is really strong for setup at the start of the game.
Yeah.
good. 12 cards is a huge amount. We have level 3 Hall Mirror, level 3 Occult Lexicon. Both these are just like really, really good.
Yeah. Healing and damage when you need it is just good.
Well, healing and then like damage and card draw and resources.
It's only one of those things unless you need small numbers
But it's-
of all of those things, in which case it could be most of that.
It's only one of those things unless you don't need the maximum value, in which case it can be some combination of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have to be like in the color to play them.
But that's like true for
come
every
on,
card
man.
we've talked about.
Yeah.
So we've been saying it so much for these, but
Occult Lexicon is also sweet at like even the level 0 if you're playing it in like this tarot build, because then the tarots that you don't need.
Yeah,
just
you
become,
don't have
like,
you don't have your moon
fuel
necklace
for
or whatever.
the blood
Yeah.
right.
yeah,
You
definitely.
use it to
You're
dig for
probably
the
not
ones that
going to
you
need
want.
like all of them, right?
Yeah, you do.
All of the time. Like there's a red one.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Well, yeah, you have to be red to trigger it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, on the plus side, if you're not red, it still does its thing. But.
Investigator Decks.
Investigator Decks. There's only one slide for this one. Nice and simple. We
That's
close
nice
this
and
video
simple.
out. We have Greta Wagner and her upgraded version down below. Static boosts. We've kind of like been singing this whole time. They're good.
They're good.
Also, like if you're gonna be defeating an enemy, you're gonna be in blue, right?
Maybe.
Most likely. Like you might be in like green, you might be in purple, depending on how you're killing enemies.
If
but,
you're
like,
playing blue cards and you're gonna kill an enemy, it's probably
Yeah.
it'd be in blue.
Likewise with boxing gloves as well. If you're going to be fighting enemies,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit funny and silly to be boxing glove Lola, but you definitely could try it. You do have spirit. It's like Calvin. You have spirits from everywhere.
Yeah, you got the red and the purple spirits too, which is nice.
Yeah. Solano fragments. While you have 5 more cards in hand, you get +1 book. 10 brain. 15 another book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the hand size archetype is pretty solid for Lola, because most of the cards that give you extra hand size or passive abilities.
Yeah.
So you just play them while you're in yellow and then do other things.
And like you said, also just sometimes you're like, I can't play any of these cards, and they just add up over time.
yeah, you're like, well, I play these
You're-
blue assets in my deck that cost 5.
You spend all your actions switching roles, not playing cards. Granny Orn and her upgraded version get +1 brain or book and brain if you're there. And then also, if you're in red, you get half a lucky for anybody. Or if you want someone to get hurt more during a rotting remains, you could do that. Or hurt
Sometimes
less.
you really need to do the extra damage, so that way Brother Xavier dies,
Yep.
and you get to do 2 damage to the enemy.
It could.
Like, not you, but someone else.
Yes.
Someone
Yeah,
else's.
yeah, someone else's brother Xavier. Yeah.
Yeah, because it can't be yours.
No.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think there's a window that you can like react with this, then shift.
No. And then we got Cherished Keepsake and Leathercoat. Soak.
Just a lot of soak for 0 resources.
As we said at the start of the video, it is forced, so even if you're not red, it will be exiled.
Yeah, just play another one, discard instead.
Yeah.
How cool
That's
would it be
it.
if it didn't have to be exiled? Though?
They'd be too good.
She'd be like almost good.
Yeah. I'm a 10-10. I just need
The
my teddy
arc
bear
would
and
be
my
too
coat.
good.
Yeah, but like
No,
if
because the forced, yeah.
you
that's
can't not be red as Yorick. That's
Yeah.
not how that works.
Oh, no, you're talking about if you didn't have to,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
force things. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying if these didn't have the force ability. I'm like, why would you? You know why.
it. All right.
Oh,
Travis.
there's our deck, yeah.
That's our deck.
Okay, so this is a like investigating Lola deck. It basically is all the things that we said about passive boosts and stuff like that. Why is logical reasoning red?
Oh, because I fucked up.
I know. At least it wasn't a spelling error. Like that didn't happen this way. It was,
No, I mean, I've been gotten much better. Do you remember like that one, like Sister Mary one, where there was
Yep.
like
that
so
was
many? Yeah.
you must have been tired when you
I
did
was,
that one.
yeah.
So yeah, we got like our Holy Rosary, which is just plus brain, as our only not card of the 3 colors we're playing. We're playing red, yellow, and green. Green gives us Faustian Bargain for resources, intel report, and decoys for when we need to do those things in a pinch. And Leo DeLuca just gives us that extra action all the time. Yellow gives us Slaying of Fragments and Magnifying Glass. No Sword Turn, Logical Reasoning. No Sword Turn, Logical Reasoning are just they're solid yellow cards. Slaying of Fragments, Magnifying Glass are what's going to give us our book. We primarily want to be playing the game while we are in red, though, occasionally switching to green, but mostly in red, so we can make use of our luckies and our local eye founds and actively use our winging its as well to get those extra clues. And then we have our gut, our perception,
Gut.
our unexpected courageous, our emergency caches, as they're just, they're just your neutral cards. They do the things you want.
Gut. That's good. Oh, I need to do that for all of them now. Just all gut is just. If it's a one of, I should just do gut.
Yeah.
That's a funny joke if I can remember to do that in the future.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean that was only an hour. That was a.
Yeah, if you can play all 5 colors from all the cycles, that was not bad.
Yeah, it was fun to talk about Lola.
Yeah, this was a better than I thought a good faith Lola guide would be.
I mean, thankfully we had Lola last because we were like maybe she's gonna get tabooed, and then she did, and she's like just a lot more playable now, right? Like, and
Good thing Lola's last, so we could do her 50 weeks later.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good thing Lola's this week.
Yeah.
They're gonna the net taboo when it comes out next week. They're gonna take off all of her changes. They're like, yeah, Lola's actually fine.
We play her, and she's too good now.
Yeah. Not enough cards are discarded to your Crisis of Identity,
Yeah.
and we wanted to combat that.
So
So
we
now-
decided that it affects your hand too.
Yeah.
You can only pick 2 colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rolls you're not,
Yeah.
throw those away too.
Yeah. Just kill everything.
Discard everything that's the role you're in, and then discard everything that's in a color of a role you're not.
Yeah.
Then become neutral.
Yeah. Sick. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Expanded guides. We'll be moving on eventually to the Scarlet Keys Investigators,
Yeah.
and then also
Maybe we'll get some print and play stuff if I can wear Travis down on
Yeah.
that.
I mean, we'll probably
find
do
out.
Like which
Parallel
ones?
Ashcan Pete.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather do this. We'll do Scark these guys.
Oh yeah. We need time to also
them
do
time to
just-
get
like
the rest of it
maybe
out,
like a
too.
certain
Yeah.
goo lady.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Don't worry, Brent. Next, when Travis is gone
not
next
real.
year, we'll do a Susie expanded guide.
It's just it'll be the same thing as this.
No, it won't. It'll be different. You don't have to discard any of your cards except sometimes
Yeah, you must eat them.
when you eat them.
It's the same thing. It's just
Well, it's
basically
not like
the same deck
discard.
building. It's not. It is like discard, but it's not discard.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. Thanks for supporting the channel. All of our patrons, by the way, you guys all rock. You made it so we need 5 columns in the Acolyte thing now, so huge thank you to that. In the meantime, have a good one, and as always, a GG's.